Gonzalez.
Here. I'm having some camera issues, so bear with me one. But I am here.
Okay,
Cap is
sure.
on.
Thanks. Maps.
Here.
Rubio.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Wheeler.
Okay, well, so first up, or next up, we will hear from the city attorney.
Welcome to the Portland City Council. To testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance on the council agenda at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. Information on engaging with City Council can be found on the council clerk's webpage. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during City Council meetings. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your time is done. Disruptive conduct, such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations, will not be allowed. If you cause a disruption, a warning will be given. Further disruption will result in ejection from the meeting. Anyone who fails to leave once ejected is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually. Your testimony today should address the matter being considered. When testifying, state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Disclose if you are a lobbyist. If you are representing an organization, please identify it. For testifiers joining virtually, please unmute yourself once the council clerk calls your name. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So, Kaylin, would you read the first item, please?
Would you like me to read the 3 items together?
Yes, please,
Sure.
if you could do that together, that would be great.
Item 733, authorize submission of a boundary change request to the state of Oregon and to amend the Portland Enterprise Zone boundary. Item 734, designate the East Portland Enterprise Zone for electronic commerce. Item 735, authorize an Oregon Enterprise Zone statutory employment increase waiver for Daimler Truck.
Thank you. So colleagues, I'm pleased to introduce the next, these 3 items, which will adopt resolutions related to the City of Portland-sponsored Enterprise Zone, or E-Zone program. If you recall, in May 2023, City Council successfully voted to reauthorize the East Portland E-Zone for another 10 years. Shortly after this action, the Oregon Legislature also amended the E-Zone statute, extending the state law's sunset to 2033 for the entire program. These items propose to authorize the submittal of a boundary change request to the state of Oregon to amend the Portland E-Zone boundary, also designate the East Portland E-Zone to retain electronic commerce overlay, and also authorize an Oregon E-Zone statutory employment increase waiver for Daimler Truck. The first action will recommend that the council add 3 key areas to the Portland E-Zone in the downtown Portland Central City core and Northwest Industrial area, with the goal of incenting employer retention in Portland Central City and key investments by companies considering locating into Portland or relocating away from Portland. I also want to add that by including the downtown core in the Portland E-Zone boundary, we are making an intentional decision to provide the Central City with a tool to revitalize and incentivize business investment. The more economic activity there is downtown, the more employees are walking on our sidewalks, going to lunch, spending time in parks, and bringing Portland's Central City back to the place we all know it can be. In addition, with adding the downtown core, we are at our maximum allowable acreage according to state law. So the second action requests that the council designate the East Portland E-Zone to retain an e-commerce overlay for 10 years and direct staff to submit a notification to the state of Oregon. The previous East Portland E-Zone e-commerce designation expired when the East Portland E-Zone back in June 2023. This action requests that to add the overlay back to East Portland to make sure that the program uses identical plans to the Portland E-Zone. The third action will request that the council provide a statutory employment waiver from the E-Zone job creation requirements. This waiver will allow Daimler Truck to complete an investment of $25 million or more in qualified property and qualify for the Enterprise Zone program benefits. All three of these items are connected to our city's effort to retain and grow traded sector businesses and to encourage commercial activity in the central city, which is the state's economic engine. These are strategic actions that align directly with our recently adopted Advanced Portland strategy. And as a reminder, our goals for Advanced Portland are quality job growth and expansion of competitive industries, vibrant and inclusive central city and neighborhood commercial districts, increased racial equity and in entrepreneurship and traded sector employment, and also the deployment of innovative green products and services. This E-Zone program is locally and nationally recognized as an innovative tax incentive tool that helps businesses to grow and do so in an inclusive way. And these actions come at a critical time for us to invest in our central cities. Today, we have Shay Flaherty Bethine and Andy Reed from Prosper Portland here to introduce these items and to share more about its numerous impacts in our community. Welcome.
All right. Good afternoon, buenas tardes, and thank you, Commissioner Rubio, for the introduction. Portland City Commissioners, my name is Shay Flaherty Bethine, for the record. I use pronouns like he, him, and él, and I serve as the Director of Economic Development at Prosper Portland. I'm here with Andy Reed, who managed the Enterprise Zone program on behalf of the City of Portland and Prosper Portland since 2010. And later in the presentation, Andy is going to share more details around the program and the resolutions before you today. I want to first acknowledge the great work of the business advancement team within our economic development department at Prosper Portland. This team assists growing businesses so they can invest back into Portland and create living wage jobs. The Enterprise Zone, or what you'll hear as E-Zone, is a key tool to compete for traded sector projects that are looking to grow or locate new investments. We're on the next slide. Perfect. So today we're just going to speak to how the E-Zone program connects to Advanced Portland and our central city retention and expansion efforts. We'll do a brief review of the Enterprise Zone program, and then Andy's going to share the three resolutions that you see before you, and we should have time for discussion and feedback as well. If we go to the next slide. So you'll recall that City Council just recently adopted Advanced Portland as Portland's growth strategy for the next 5 years. And if we go to the next slide, we can see that this is important today more than ever, because the truth is we can no longer take Portland's growth for granted. For the first time in 40 years, the City of Portland's population declined. That's a huge issue for all of us. We should all be paying attention to that. And many challenges continue to threaten Portland's economic future. Portland's tax value proposition has shifted. I think it's no surprise that increasing livability concerns and a 32% increase in taxes to businesses since 2019 are changing that calculus for both employers and residents. We know the central city is experiencing a serious level of office vacancy rates and decreased daytime population due to both remote work and some of those same livability concerns. And this is especially true in areas with high levels of office and tourism uses, like downtown, Old Town, Lower Albina, and the Lloyd District, which you all see as orange on this map. I want to stress that despite these crises, we are committed to helping Portland fully recover, including and especially in our downtown. And I believe that the E-Zone is a crucial tool in how we rescue our city. Next slide, please. Again, just context for this work, it sits within our business advancement team, and in the simplest of terms, this team helps both traded sector businesses grow and become more inclusive. You can see the various business lines and industry clusters that we consider within the work on screen, but I mainly want to stress that the E-Zone efforts are grounded by the objectives of Advanced Portland. The first objective, which is to propel inclusive growth and innovation, E-Zone works there in the sense that we work with traded sector businesses that are growing jobs in the city. And many of these companies engage in innovative business practices, and they create new products that are then sold throughout the world. The second objective in Advanced Portland is to promote equitable wealth creation. And our innovative use of the E-Zone as a tool, I think a credit to Andy, is the expansion of the tool and its use for small businesses, as well as traded sector businesses, provides critical funding to support scaling entrepreneurs. And we have examples of companies that have used the tool just for that. And within Objective 4, which is to connect Portlanders to high-quality jobs in future-ready sectors, the E-Zone has proven itself as a tool for local job creation time and time again. Next slide, please. So in terms of timeline, just you'll recall in 2019, City Council reauthorized the Portland Enterprise Zone, and as the Commissioner shared, just this May, we reauthorized the East Portland Enterprise Zone as well. You'll see that over time, we've also adjusted and deployed this program to help deliver for strategic equity priorities. A good example of that is that in 2017, we actually have the country's first public benefit agreement requirement within an enterprise zone. And over 19 companies and counting have agreed to do a variety of different public benefits from a menu of public benefits on top of the standard enterprise zone job creation requirements. Next slide, please. And so most of this should be review from May, but I want to remind people here that at its core, E-Zone is a 5-year property tax abatement program. It's also one of the only incentive tools that we have available and that Prosper Portland can manage in-house through the business advancement team, and that it plays an immense role in our business retention and expansion efforts. Just as a reminder, in order to qualify, a firm must be making new investments in construction or equipment to the property, and it must be within the E-Zone boundary. They must be creating new and additional jobs. Once a company enters the program, they will receive that full tax abatement on all the qualified property improvements for 5 years, but that's only if they're accountable and complying with those annual program requirements. And so the map that you see on screen, it shows the enterprise zone in brown and the East Enterprise Zone in blue. And you'll recall that when we were here on May 10th for the East Portland Enterprise Zone reauthorization, again, I want to thank you all for the unanimous support and to say that day we heard you loud and clear. Many of you expressed concern around the clear and obvious gap that you can see on the map today presently in front of you, namely the absence of our downtown core. So you'll see updated maps with proposed amendments that include the Central City core shortly from Andy. So I want to thank Andy. I want to thank Pam Neal for the team for the unprecedented and swift action to bring these amendments to you today. There's a lot of red tape. This is a state program, and it's just congratulations. It's been amazing to watch. And we know downtown and many parts of our city continue to be in crisis. These actions today would send a message to our business community. We see the issues, and we are leaving no stone unturned when it comes to finding solutions. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Andy and take it away.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, and for the council here today for having us. My name is Andy Reed. I work at Prosper Portland. I use he, him pronouns. If we could go to the next slide, please. So all of this is, as Shay was just mentioning, governed by Oregon State statute. This statute was enacted in 1985, and we've used this program since then in the city of Portland. There are more than 70 enterprise zones across the state. Each zone has a 10-year designation. And again, just as mentioned by Shay, that we did successfully make it through the legislative session with removing of the sunset that was going to be in a couple of years from now and extending it here into the future. So the program's going to be here for a while, and we're grateful for that moment. Next slide, please. And again, this is a bit of a review from May, but we just felt like it was important to bring this front and center again. Over the last 10 years, we've supported 97 projects. As a quick update, we currently have 7 projects in the pipeline that we expect will be in place by the end of this next month, which is very exciting. There are approximately 45 current active projects. A third of them are active small businesses. And as Shay was mentioning before, we've made some shifts to the policy over the last few years, which has moved it from being a tool that primarily large multinational corporations could use to now our smaller companies such as Nossa Familia that can come in and use the program successfully for their investments, which are big to them. They're large investments to those small businesses. And by simplifying this access now, I said a third of those companies are small businesses, and we count them as 50 or less employees when we use the word small business. Next slide, please. And to just bring forward the value proposition of what is the cost benefit of this tool for us as a city. In exchange for $1.9 million in foregone tax revenue in the last tax cycle, we can take a 1-year snapshot and see about 3,600 new jobs, which created approximately $11.5 million in Oregon income tax. And in that, also $137 million in procurement within the city of Portland. And just to note about procurement, we're going to mention what this looks like for the Daimler Truck project here pretty soon. But if you look at the tertiary, secondary effects of an investment, you have the the investment, which is the real property investment, personal property investment, that's what's on the tax rolls. You also have these other effects in the supply chain. And this is just noting some accurate numbers directly reported by companies on what they spend within the city. It just gives us a good sense of what this looks like. Next slide, please. So we have 3 actions in front of us today. The first one is, as mentioned by Commissioner Rubio and Shea, we are proposing to amend the Portland E-zone boundary to include downtown Portland, the downtown core, and really closing the map between the Southwest waterfront, Old Town, and the industrial areas up to the north that are traditionally more of the manufacturing base. This will, as we're experiencing, we have companies that are asking for this directly right now as they're eyeing investments and their boards are making decisions on whether or not Portland should be their future home as a headquarter facility or whether or not they should leave. And so this is a direct conversation in response not only to council in May, we also have heard directly from the business community that this is a very important thing for us to do. The expiration is in 2029, so City Council at that point could then choose if you feel like the zone has done what it's supposed to do in downtown Portland and we would like to remove those particular tax lots from the map again, we can do that. So this isn't a forever thing. It does expire in 2029 and we could use that moment to reevaluate whether or not the tool should stay in place or not. Next slide, please. Right here. So here is the proposed map where we have added the amended area. You'll see there in purple. Again, that is connecting the South Waterfront, Old Town, Chinatown, and then the Northwest Industrial areas. This map is created based on very specific rules that are allowed under state statute. Those rules have limits on the total square miles that are allowed within the enterprise zone, which is 12 square miles. It also has criteria based on income and with a significant lower income community in the Old Town communities around us that allowed us to meet those criteria for enrolling these particular tax lots into the zone. If you go to the next slide, please. And you can see what it looks like then as proposed, the continuation between those 3 areas that existed and the new downtown core running up to right about in there 405. Next slide, please. The second amendment or the second request is for us to bring in the East Portland e-commerce overlay. As mentioned before, the E-zone or the e-commerce overlay expired June 30 with the expiration of the East Portland E-zone. And under state law, we're required to come back and request it. There are a limited number of these that are available around the state. And so the one that we had for East Portland went back into the pool, and as a first come, first served mechanism at the state of Oregon, we needed to act pretty swiftly to be able to bring it back to our communities to allow for those e-commerce investments, particularly in East Portland. And we saw significant use of it in the Central East Side over the last few years. And I can tell you that the building owners and the community in the Central East Side would very much like to have as many different kind of incentives as they can find as well to start moving more businesses back into their community. And as you can see, the 12 active companies that we had used the program invested a significant amount of money and created quite a few new jobs for our city as well. Next slide, please. And then finally, this is a pretty unique tool that we have not used for many, many years. The last time we used the employment waiver was in 2005. It is being used by other cities around the state of Oregon in situations similar to this, where you have larger companies that are making significant investments. They're moving towards cutting edge research and development and testing, but don't necessarily have the job creation to support the quick ramp up that's required under the state statute. In a situation like this, you would need to see an employment increase of 300 jobs within a year. And as they're making these investments in these buildings, that's just not going to happen right away. That's just not how the investment will be created. And so we have this tool, which is allowed under the state statute, where companies can, if they invest more than $25 million in qualified property, we set a baseline number of jobs, and then those companies can use this as a way to increase investment in their particular facilities. This is a very exciting one to us, where Daimler is looking to do cutting-edge development testing of electric and hydrogen fuel cell trucks. This very much aligns with our climate action goals. It aligns with our Advanced Portland strategy of really promoting those products and services in the green space. It retains jobs in Portland, and we believe that, again, that kind of secondary effect of investment just from those potentially added jobs that we could see come in of about $108 million in added value to the GDP and about $11 million in annual state and local taxes. Next slide, please. So I think that's what we have for today. I believe I'll hand it back to Commissioner Rubio at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Shay and Andy, for the presentation. And now we have a few invited guests for invited testimony. So I'd like to invite Matt Markstaller from Daimler Truck North America to provide some remarks. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Matt Markstaller, and I'm representing Daimler Trucks North America. I'm actually the corporate real estate manager for Daimler Trucks. And to give a little background for those of you who don't know, we're part of Daimler Trucks AG, which includes companies around the globe. Daimler Trucks North America has a presence in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And we've got locations, manufacturings and office and research locations in that footprint. Our office and engineering locations are primarily in Portland, with some in Fort Mill, and then a pretty big technology hub in Detroit. So we're at a really critical point in our history. We started in Portland, 80 years or so ago, and we have evolved this diesel truck since then. And it's the most efficient in the industry. We have the largest market share in the industry. We know how to do things, and we know how to do them right. We're at a point where we're going to basically sunset that business and start a new business. We've started that new business, which is zero emissions vehicles. That's quite a bit different than the diesel trucks, but we are very enthusiastic about it, very excited about the future. It's a challenge in many ways. One of the ways it's a challenge is the investments that we make in that space are not going to pay off for a decade or so. So that makes it very challenging for, investing in that. We need to make investments in a number of areas. One area is just research and development, and a new facility, which is projected to be about a $40 million facility that will develop our current vehicles, but especially the zero emissions vehicles. So, like I say, we can do that around anywhere across the US, but probably in one of those three locations. And we're really looking for a public partnership to help make that happen. We've taken advantage of the E-Zone and a number of different incentives over the years, notably our headquarters about 7 or 8 years ago. And we're really hoping for, a public partnership with this new investment.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark. We really appreciate you being here today and appreciate you being in Portland. Now I will invite Nick Poindexter from Emerging Leaders to come up or to join us.
Hello. Thank you, Mayor Wheeler and esteemed commissioners for the opportunity to share today. My name is Nick Poindexter. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the Senior Director of the Empowering Leaders Division at nonprofit The Contingent. Our key programs within this division have been Emerging Leaders and SIGN. Emerging Leaders is focused on empowering diverse talent to excel as professionals through opportunity in a supportive community, primarily through internships and mentoring focused on current college students and recent college graduates of color. SIGN is an initiative that supports college graduates of color in the region by building a network of professionals who are committed to leading in their vocation, building wealth, and changing our community and the world for good. The first year of this experience is group mentoring that focuses on leadership development, financial education, civic and community engagement, and wealth building. We have rebranded these initiatives. Emerging Leaders and SIGN will merge into a new initiative known as The Script to broaden our scope. The purpose of this is to ensure we can walk with college students and college graduates of color over time as a continuum from intern to junior level and eventually management and executive levels. We have partnered with Prosper Portland's efforts to grow a diverse workforce through Portland Means Progress since its launch. We've placed 500 plus interns through the Emerging Leaders Internship Program in companies across the region. In the last couple of years, we began working with multiple enterprise zone companies to host Emerging Leaders interns, including Daimler Trucks North America, with placements in their headquarter facility in Portland. They have been a great partner to us, so definitely thank them. Another thing to note, 100% of our interns in the program come from communities of color. We've received, in addition to thinking about the internship program, we've received enterprise zone community funds to launch SIGN, which I shared about. This money was critical as we looked to create new resources for recent college graduates to walk with them as they concluded their time in college. The E-Zone program and its innovations to create public-private partnerships through programs such as Emerging Leaders and SIGN is a targeted way to meet the goals of Advance Portland in creating a diverse workforce. We encourage each of your offices to hire an intern in 2024 and invite your business partners to do the same. We're grateful for your support of the E-Zone program, Emerging Leaders, and SIGN. This investment that has been made through these funds have empowered us to really imagine what's next for our work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nick. All right, colleagues, well, that concludes our presentation. And so the floor is open for any discussion about any of our guests.
May I offer?
Sure.
I'm going to be strongly supportive of all of this. It's essential that we communicate clearly to the country, to the city, that City of Portland's open for business. These are crucial steps to intervene in deterring perception of business climate in the City of Portland. So very much looking forward to the jobs that are going to be created by these efforts. And I'm not going to be able to stick around to vote, but thank you so much for the time, and thank you for your good work. You guys stepped up quickly to bring this forward, and it's very, very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before we move into public testimony?
We have public testimony. Okay. I was going to say, we can start voting.
No, yeah.
We got Jay. Well,
Maybe a little swing back.
Okay, sounds good.
We have one person signed up, Jay Clark.
Hello.
Online. Yep.
Hi, my name is Jay Clark, and for the record, I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the Portland Metro Chamber. I am here today to express our strong support for the proposed resolutions to amend the East Portland and Portland Enterprise Zones and the authorization of the employment increase waiver for Daimler, one of our city's most important employers. The proposed boundary change request to the Portland Enterprise Zone specifically to include the lots in the Northwest Industrial Zone in the downtown Southwest core are critical steps to accelerating the recovery of Portland's central city and promote greater equality and resiliency in our overall economic growth. The data has demonstrated that the impact of the current Portland East zones has resulted in the creation of over 3,600 jobs and a very impressive $1.8 billion in capital investments since 2015. These statistics underscore the value of the E-Zone program in fostering job growth, driving investments, and propelling overall economic advancement. We want to thank Commissioner Rubio, Mayor Wheeler, and the entire council for advancing this critical policy to accelerate our recovery for the central city. This policy action, combined with the forthcoming business license tax holiday for Central City leases and the future Central City TIF district, make up one of the most aggressive economic growth packages that any council in the nation has taken for their downtown core. We are confident that it will pay dividends, and you have our commitment that we will put these policies into practice as an essential part of our efforts to ensure that downtown Portland thrives for future generations. Lastly, we urge you to pass the employment increase waiver for Daimler. Actions in support of our major city employers are exactly what we need to do right now to ensure that they expand their operations here, employ more people, and generate future tax revenues for our critical public services. Daimler is on the cutting edge of developing the next generation of clean freight mobility, and fostering their future growth in Portland is consistent with our organization and the council's shared vision of Portland being a national and global leader in developing the clean industries for the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That completes testimony.
Okay, great. So any further council discussion before we take the vote?
I have a quick question, if I may. Number one, I want to thank everyone, staff, for their testimony today. I want to thank everyone who showed up, all the members of the public and the business community who testified. I'm excited about the work you're doing, and I'm very supportive of the set of resolutions before us today. I am trying to get a clearer sense of the trade-offs associated with this program. And I think you have a slide, I forget the title of the slide. Maybe it's literally the cost benefit slide. Can we pull that back up?
Probably the next few. There you go. One back.
Yeah, we just passed it a second ago. I saw it.
A couple more forward. There you go.
There you go. So I'm trying to, I think the slide might actually answer my questions. One of the things I'm just trying to be clear on is the cost to the general fund for this program. And so we anticipate, so yeah, maybe put that in words for me.
Sure.
Like in general, and I recognize there's probably lots of variation that can happen in this, but just for those of us who are, we're literally about to head into another budgeting process. You know, this is an important stimulus package. Glad to support it. Would also like to have at least some intuition about how much it's going to cost the general fund on an annual basis.
Want me to start? It's a great question, Commissioner, because I think we want to make sure that we're maximizing the value to the city.
Yeah.
So the good news is that the tax incentive itself, which is just on the potential improvements, this is for Daimler specifically. Over 5 years, we're talking about approximately $2.4 million on the improvements. So they continue to pay taxes on their other properties, right?
Got it.
What's the good news is that waiver happens for 5 years. We estimate that after an additional 5 years, that waiver will be covered. And then anything on top of that after is upside, right? So if by year 11, we're already getting an increase back to the taxing jurisdiction. I'll add, you know, the risk is that without the potential waiver, we run the risk of not having the investment at all. Right. So I think we take that seriously as well. And as Andy said, we haven't taken a waiver like this to council since 2005. So we weigh the options, but I think we're confident, and we like the numbers and seeing that the impact just after 10 years is already growing the city general fund.
Okay, thank you very much. That is what I was seeking some clarity on, and I think that's my only question I have today.
Great.
A great presentation, and I really appreciate the meeting we had last week to prepare for this. I actually wanted to see if Matt, would you be, you're still there. Hi, there you are. Hey, thanks for being in this meeting virtually. I appreciate it, and I hope to do a site visit to your facility down on Swan Island. I think about you a lot, maybe because I live above you in North Portland, and so I I meander down to Swan Island now and then, and I realize it's been a rough hoe the last few years in the area, and we've been working our tails off to try to improve it. I just want to hear from you a little bit more about what you think we need to keep doing to have a good partnership. The fact that Daimler's been here a long time, that we can be partners as you electrify your fleet is really exciting, and we want to do everything we can. So you're a busy guy, and you're at a city council meeting, so I feel like you could say a little bit more to us about what you see in this partnership going forward. I'm trying to get you off script a little bit, Matt.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Ryan, and I invite you and all of you to come down and visit us at any time. We're very happy to host you. I think when we have folks in government or industry or wherever they may be, and they come and see what's behind these fairly anonymous-looking buildings, it's pretty exciting, the things that we're doing there, and especially with the zero emissions vehicles. I think the thing that comes to mind, I guess, when we talk about this particular investment, even Daimler Trucks North America, we've really got a footprint all over the US, and really most of our drivetrains come out of Detroit. With the electric motors, that's just a new business for everybody. So we're kind of starting from ground zero. And if we look at this particular facility that's needed for some very specific things, I mentioned that we do need the public partnership, because really that's available and recognized around the US, and we build various different things, and we simply don't do things without incentives anymore, because there's just simply so much available. And it does a couple things. It helps with our investment that, again, doesn't pay back for probably at least a decade. But the second thing, it helps us understand, our value within the community. And we've got some communities where, they roll out the red carpet and it's just no problem getting anything done, and we always understand our value. And then we've got other communities where we've done business historically, where it's much more difficult, where it's difficult to do any development, because, just for whatever regulations, or it just appears to be difficult. So that's why it's important, and that's why we look in the future to really be more partners with the public sector for all of those reasons. So we would love to host anyone at any time. In this particular investment, it's for advanced development, but it's not the only one. So we've kind of changed and morphed over the years. I've been with the company almost 30 years, and I saw, some investment in the Carolinas, and that ended up being a lot of manufacturing investment, and that kind of grew for a little while. And then we built the headquarters here about 8 years ago, and that kind of put an emphasis on Portland, and that has thrived since then. And again, we're just kind of at this really critical turning point of the company where the old business is going to go away. And we don't want to be like one of these companies, I think of IBM, who was huge, and then all of a sudden they just didn't catch the next wave or whatever. We know what we're doing. We're the market leader. We're going to be the market leader in this new business. So again, we want the public partnership. You touched on kind of the challenges that we've had. And I'll tell you, it's almost as critical as a financial investment in partnership, but the transient camp issue that we've had on Swan Island. And I'll tell you, we hire people from all over the country and really all over the world, and at high level positions, and there's just not very many of them, especially in the technical sector. So we'll advertise positions, people love us, they want to work for us, and they fly into Portland and they come to our headquarters, and leaving the airport corridor, they see all kinds of illicit activity, and then coming down onto the island, the same thing. And, by the time they land at our headquarters, we've got an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So I think, equally important is solving this transient camping issue that we've had for years, and we see some good progress on now. But that's something that we think about. That's something that affects us every day with crime and some violence. Right at our headquarters, pretty regularly. So that's kind of the other point that we'll continue to ask for support on.
No, I appreciate everything you said, and I thought it was important to have that type of transparency in the dialogue today. I also want to just reflect on, and so we're doing lots of work to move forward in that regard. And we all know that the drug, poisonous drugs, actually, epidemic that's taking place across the country, but especially grim here in Portland, is got to be our number one priority. And we keep taking action on the city council, and we keep working with our partners to help them come along, join us in this effort at the county, at Metro, at the state. And so we can't keep doing this alone. So it's really helpful to see how this is all connected. I wanted to also comment on looking at the slides. God, I'm old. So I was in college in the early 80s, last time population decline. And for those of you younger than me, which is everyone I can see almost in this room, that was when the timber industry was going through its big downturn, if you will. And it was rough in Oregon at that time. Almost everybody here that didn't have connections to big money in the state had to move to go find a job. And we got through it. We got through it through technology. We got through it becoming the sports apparel epicenter of the universe. And I really think we have an opportunity to have another, like you said, that you have to make sure that you're not insignificant in the future. And so you have to do your infrastructure upgrade, because the infrastructure of the past is the infrastructure we need going forward. And you're leaning into that. And Portland and the state of Oregon has to lean into that as well. And we keep saying that we want to be that for the green economy. And so this is an opportunity for us to go hard on that, to be really strong partners with you. It's a smaller company, but just having a local trucking company, Titan, already be out there ahead of most with electrification of their fleet. It's really that's the type of ecosystem we want to build. So I just want you to know that I think I speak for everyone up here, and we just have to lean in hard with you right now to help build that infrastructure here in Portland. So this can be the R&D center, the innovation center for your company moving towards electrification, so you can be, of course, relevant going forward in decades to come. And Portland would love to be a part of that relationship. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And if I could just say a couple more things. This is the future. We have a 40% market share now. I think the Daimler name is really recognized as the leader in the industry. We know how to do that. We intend to do that. So not only will we develop our product, but we just really will be at the forefront of that. So there will be very important work done here. As I listen to discussions about foregone taxes on some of these programs, we touched on this, but without some of these incentives, really by definition, their investment simply wouldn't have happened. So it's not like I don't think you can say we forewent all of these taxes necessarily, because they simply the investment wouldn't have been made and the taxes wouldn't have been had. And finally, for the waiver for the job creation, we really look at it as job retention, because we've got 1,000 engineers here, and we've got almost 1,000, elsewhere in the country. So, our resources will just simply, or our human resources will simply migrate to wherever the physical resources are. So, there's a really important component there that, where we develop these facilities, if they're here, the job creation might not happen instantly, but the job retention certainly will happen pretty quickly.
President Rubio, I also want to acknowledge that it was great to have Nick. I thought that was a very elegant pairing. We all know that it's all about economic mobility for communities of color and communities that have been left out of prosperity in the past. And so it's wonderful to have them both present together. And the more we hear about relationships specifically with the matchmaking that goes on between companies like Daimler with the contingent, that's exactly the type of ecosystem we built. That's how you and I know each other well. All Hands Raised was all about economic mobility. It all starts from the 0 to 24, and you prepare people so that they have the tools they need to be mobile in the economy. And so thank you, Nick, for being here. I really appreciate your organization and the leadership that you're taking in the marketplace and connecting the dots between the nonprofit sector, the government sector, and business. It's got to be an all-in effort with all sectors. Not one sector can do it alone. So this has been a wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before we take a vote? All right. If there's no more discussion, Keelan, would you please call the roll on the first resolution?
Item 733, maps.
Let me start out today by thanking Commissioner Rubio and the mayor for bringing these items forward. I'll deliver some comments now. I'll deliver some comments on the first item and then probably keep my comments for the last two short. But I enthusiastically support all three items. I also want to thank staff for being both very creative and leaning in and moving quick to help bring these economic opportunities to our city. I'm going to support these because, I think it's important that we support economic development downtown, and this is an important step in that direction. I also think it's important for the city to lean into our future economies. So it only makes sense that we should support things like e-commerce. I also want to say I very much appreciate Daimler Chrysler being here today. I very much support any efforts that we can to help them grow their business here. There was a story I wanted to share with you, which also explains my vote on the Daimler Chrysler piece. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Commissioner Rubio and I and public leaders from across the state had the great opportunity to meet over at Keith Wilson's shop. Keith, of course, owns a trucking company. We were all there gathered to kind of celebrate Keith receiving his first electric freight truck, which was a true innovation. And of course, it's a freight truck built and designed by Daimler Chrysler. I also had the good fortune of attending that event with my 15-year-old. And for me, it was quite powerful to actually see my 15-year-old, a young man who literally is too young to drive, standing next to the first electric freight truck in Oregon. And to realize that that is kind of the future that he gets to inherit. One of the reasons why he gets to inherit that future is because of the good work done by our colleagues on the other side of the table and the colleagues on this side of the table and our good friends and partners who are joining us online today. I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. We're truly building a better Portland and a better Oregon. It's an honor to serve with you. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you. President Rubio, are we kind of just doing remarks for all of them in one?
Yes, in the first one.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure I was playing well with others here. Yes, I must add the Titan is owned by my classmate from Roosevelt High School, Keith Wilson, and that's why I mentioned that earlier to our friend Matt. It's about that ecosystem that we're building. We don't really get an opportunity to have three items come to us that are so paired so well, and also such a no-brainer in terms of how we need to just go and move these forward. So thank you, Prosper Portland, for your work. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, for your leadership in guiding this, embracing e-zones. Let's do this. Obviously, it's so important that we do everything we can at this time to create family wage jobs, and I think really just to retain the spirit. It's not comfortable when Portland loses population. It's really uncomfortable. And I think a lot of a lot of us, well, I'll just say, I felt like we were resting on our laurels for a couple decades. I really have a lot of respect for what happened in the 70s and 80s when things were rough, and that's when Portland was bold and made some really strong economic decisions. We thought out of the box, and suddenly people started noticing us. No one knew where Portland was before then, except the Blazers won a championship in 1977. Other than that, no one knew anything about Portland. I know, I lived on the East Coast at the time, because again, I couldn't get a job here. And so now's the time. We have to start thinking like that again, because we had a couple decades where we rested on the laurels from that bold action that took place in those decades. We had the lovely the 90s were pretty wonderful, let's face it. That was like an easy time to be a Portlander. And since then, we've gradually been having some challenges. And all of this is kind of coming to roost over the last 5 years or 10 years, for many of us have noticed. And I think Matt mentioned that with some of the conditions down in Swat Island. So keeping a partner like Daimler, making sure that we continue to walk our talk to invest in green economy, having enterprise zones. And so it might be a short-term hit, but it's going to be long-term gain. And we have to keep making those kind of bold decisions. So I want to see more of this. More importantly, I want to see what happens with it. So how is the implementation going? And when we visit with people like Matt, we want to hear those stories, like 2 years later, how's this going? I'm going to be an optimist, Matt, and know that we're going to stick together here as partners. And then what will it be like 2 years from now when we have that dialogue? How are we building together? So here's in partnership with everyone that's in this room that represents different sectors. Here's to making sure that we all stick together and know that Portland's best days are going to come, and that we continue to also stay focused on those core issues that are just taking out the soul of the city. And nothing is more indicative of that than the poisonous drug crisis on our streets, the humanitarian crisis on our streets. We've got to keep focusing on that so that people will want to invest here, so they can raise families here. You know, at one time it was the mountain that made people want to move here. Then it was our best schools in the nation. And I would like to say the mountain is still there. That's good. I think our schools have been improving over time over the last 20 years. And now it's time for all of us to have our streets and our sidewalks and our parks joyful and safe for the families to participate in. And with that, we will continue to be the city we want to live in. I vote aye.
Rubio.
So I, too, will add to my colleagues' appreciation and hope that we see in this presentation today. These resolutions are widely supported by the community and the business community as well, because we all want our families and all Portlanders to know that we're doing all that we can in the city to retain our quality of life, but also retain businesses and jobs, and especially businesses that want to stay in Portland and keep their jobs here as well. But retaining jobs requires us to compete with the rest of the nation right now, and other states who may offer other kinds of incentives unique to their area. So what they don't have is our special Portland spirit and our grit. But a challenging economic and livability landscape is a real thing right now. So especially for these businesses who are struggling to make it work and who want to stay here and keep their investments going here. So we do need every single tool that we can use right now to make the decision very easy to be here and to feel supported here and remain here. And also bring new partners here as well. So I believe these resolutions are signaling that Portland is open for business and that employers who share our values around sustainability and community and creativity are welcome here, and that we invite you to be here, and that's part of our value proposition. So I want to thank Matt and Nick for their comments today and for sharing their experience about what it means to be in Portland. I also just want to really, again, underscore my appreciation for investing here. Thank you for being here and for standing with Portland. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your business and organizations, and we need you in this next set of years as we continue to rebuild and build even better. Finally, I just want to thank you, Shay and Andy, and the Prosper Portland team for all your work to make these programs successful. They're innovative and incredibly creative, You use all sorts of ideas and all sorts of tools, sometimes not even knowing, things I cannot even imagine how someone would have come up with some of the things that I hear from your team. So it's just really, it's always exciting to hear about what you're doing and what you have in the queue. And I just want to lift you up for that. And we're really, really lucky to have you here in our city. We're continuing to move in the right direction, and I look forward to seeing how this particular tool helps our businesses in Portland. So thank you again for your work, and for these reasons, I'm happy to vote aye. So resolution passes. And now we'll move on to the next two resolutions. Okay.
Yep. Item 734, maps.
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Rubio?
Aye.
Item 735, maps.
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Rubio?
Aye. So the three resolutions passes. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations. And I think that's our only item for today, so we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.